Welcome to another edition of Motivational Sundays with Kevin and friends. Hey, let me tell you, this is a glorious day. It is a great day to be alive. I am with some wonderful people. But before I introduce all of my co-hosts, I want to first go ahead and say to you how this thing all got started. Back in the day, and I can say that because we've been doing this for almost 4 years, we had a conversation wondering, if a quote just kind of laid there on the page, or is it a conversation to be had? So we created Motivational Sundays. We meet here every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And depending on how one quote has landed on one of our co-hosts, we have basically brought it in based on interpretation or perception, and we talk about this quote. Hi, my name is Kevin McLemore. I am one of the co-hosts. I am joined with Dr. Breakthrough, Mr. Stan Harris. I'm also joined with Curtis Battles, okay? Entrepreneur, Mr. Dwayne Morton, about to launch his first podcast, doing it up, and doing it right. And if you've ever seen two lovebirds, two penguins, you name it, that people have been born and been meant to be together for life, not taking anything away from you, Mr. Doctor Breakthrough, and you and your wife, but Christopher and Gilda James are also our co-hosts too. I am going to ask Curtis Battle to be the voice of our show today, if he doesn't mind. But, just to catch up, I'm going to throw the quote out for you. It's a line from one of my songs that we thought would be a great quote to talk about. It says, "Life is like standing in a fire, wishing it would rain." So let's find out how this quote lands on Mr. Dwayne Morton. Hey, DM, how you doing?
We're doing
Wait a
great.
minute.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
So
D.
I'm doing great. I was here last weekend when we were talking, and Kevin said this quote. For me, I feel like it's about obedience. It's about conviction. It's about just knowing that sometimes we have to be still. We have to take that type of chance, that leap of faith. The building of the plane as it's flying. That's the way I look at that quote. Is it's about just having that type of faith, knowing that that action is going to mean so much in your life that you are just standing there in the fire and just knowing it'll rain. As many people who thought when Noah built the ark, it was absurd, right? And I just feel this quote lands on the people who just have done things with just this utter knowing and not this where we're having to just it makes sense in our own mind. It's not about our mind, it's about our soul. So that's how the quote landed on me. I love it.
All right, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Life is like standing in a fire, wishing it would rain. How simple is that? Um, Words from a song and a melody, and look at it. We're talking about it. Curtis Battles. All right. Since we have more bros and sisters on here, I normally go ladies to gentlemen, but we're gonna go boys and men to our queen here on the show. Curtis, how does this quote land on you?
Happy Sunday to all. Always a pleasure to see the joy and smiling faces beaming out at me across
Mhm.
the world and the internet. This quote lands on me because I think it epitomizes a lot of what the journey of an entrepreneur is. You jump into the fire every day and you have this vision of what you think you want to do, whether it is helping folks find their way out of substance abuse, whether it is helping them be able to make their lives better through finding real estate, whether it is a company that is going to produce some unique new widget or digit that you think is going to be world changing. You have to have this conviction that you're all in on this because the folks that you deal with always are looking for, do you actually believe in the product that you're selling? Do you actually uh, have a sense that this is the way to go, whether they're folks that you're selling to, whether they're folks that you're partnering with, whether they're folks that you're looking for money from in some fashion or another. And the reign is that it all will come to you if you believe, if you take that leap of faith, if you are willing to, and it doesn't mean that you work 20 out of 24 hours a day, and then my mission is I'm going to make $1 billion, because the folks who do it for the money, it never comes to them. Whereas the folks who do it for making a change and a difference in the world are the ones who will be there. And along that path, there are naysayers. So those are the fire people. Oh, I wouldn't have done that. Oh, yeah, you're going to use up all our resources. And there are parts where that may in fact feel true. But there's a breakthrough, as the doctor will say, that says, I'm going to get to the other side. And I'm going to get there because it is a God thing. It is somebody is there. You have to believe, and you have to believe there's a higher power that is driving us to do this thing. And so that is how the quote has landed on me.
All right, all right. And he even set it up for Dr. Breakthrough to come through and do what he does. All right, trying to rhyme a little bit like you. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, this world we live in, this storm that we are um, dealing with right now, it is like standing in fire, wishing it would rain. But in order to find the answer, we have to ask the question. Let me table this conversation to Dr. Breakthrough. Stan Harris, how's this quote land on you?
Give the quote again, my brother.
Life is like standing in a fire,
Well,
wishing it would rain.
yes. So scripture says in Job 14:1, man that is born of woman is a few days and full of trouble. And so life, I never forget speaking on the platform with Les Brown, Les said, man, life will beat you up. Life is going to test you. Life is going to try you. But someone said it aptly, and that is, faith that has not been tested can't be trusted. And so another scripture says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth them out of them all. So yes, life can be like being in a fire wishing for rain, but when you leverage faith, it's like being in the fire knowing it's going to rain. In other words, pain and trouble don't always last. See, pain didn't come to last, it came to pass. And so I tell people, when you're in the midst of a storm, when you're in the midst of hard times, when you're in the midst of the fire, right? It's the faith that'll get you out of the fire, realizing, first of all, you weren't always in the fire, and you won't always be in the fire if you practice some principles. And so I tell people, when life is hurting and when you're in the midst of the fire, when life is beating up on you, and actually life is just trying you, and everybody gets tried one way or another. And if you're not being tried, you're connected to someone who is being tried. But fire doesn't come to destroy us. Fire is to purify us. Fire is to help us reveal some motives that we have that maybe aren't exactly the right ones, and helps to purify us. So when you're going through a storm, when you're going through hard times, when you're in the fire, I always say, don't curse it, don't nurse it, don't rehearse it, but rather give it to God and allow him to reverse it. And so that's like being in the fire, not just wishing it's going to rain, knowing one day it will rain. And as a matter of fact, I call rain showers of blessings. And incidentally, yesterday I came up with a never had an acronym for fire, and somebody asked me to speak on that. It was one of my topics. And so I came up with an acronym for fire. As after I give you one more scripture, I'm gonna give you that acronym. But Psalm 66:12 says, thou hast caused men to ride over our heads. We, here's the key, went through fire. See, we didn't make a lifestyle of staying in the fire. No, we went through fire and through water. But, I like but cancels out everything that goes before. But thou broughtest us out unto a wealthy place. So when I'm in the fire, I always tell myself it ain't over until I get to my wealthy place. So fire, come do what you got to do. But you and I, we ain't living together long. because many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth them out of them all. So I can rejoice in the midst of my fire, knowing that my deliverance is coming. And so my acronym for fire, real quick, and that is fervently igniting radiant enthusiasm. And so instead of being in the fire burning, let's leverage the fire, and that is get fervently igniting radiant enthusiasm. And one of my mentors, Charlie Tremendous Jones, taught me that enthusiasm really, if you break it down, that's in, theo, God, ism, you, literally means God in you, getting to come out. And so, hey, I know the fire's not always fun. The fire's not easy, but it does make it a little easier when you realize fire don't last always. And if right now you're allowing life to live you, this broadcast and my life is all about helping you to break through. So instead of allowing life to live you, that you can start living your life, living life, L-I-F-E, live in freedom every day, life, live in favor every day. And that's what this show is all about.
All right, all right. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know we're not closing the show yet, even though it sounded like it. Dr. Breakthrough coming through. I love to have a one-on-one with you and Flo because you guys are wordsmiths, breaking down the words. I like to see the battle of that. Throw out a couple of words and see what Dr. Breakthrough and Flo will do. All right, that would be fun.
Well, we know
But
what Flo gonna do. Flo gonna flow, and I'm gonna break through.
well, you know something, you had set that up very well for us to turn the mic over to Gilda, and I actually wrote down that quote you said, if faith that hasn't been tested can't be trusted. I actually write that may end up with a lyric in my song, so I hope you don't mind if I borrow that. All right.
Oh, it's
So
yours, man. Run with it.
let me go ahead for those of you that have just tuned in and have been bedazzled by Dr. Breakthrough's interpretation on here. You know, again, wonderful co-host, Dr. Breakthrough, Curtis, Gilda, and Christopher, DM, Dwayne Morton. I am so grateful for all you guys. You guys keep me out of the fire. I don't have to wish for rain. I'm standing in it every day. It keeps me cool, keeps me calm. And believe it or not, as much as life is out of focus for most, you know, with you guys leading the way, even the blind can see. So, Gilda, how does this quote land on you?
Grand Rising, everyone. Um, from listening to everyone, it landed on me like life needs rain, just as fire needs fuel. That's how it landed on me.
So true, so true, so true, so true. Fire needs the rain. I can't even quote that, what you said. Can you repeat that one more time, Gilda?
Life needs rain, just as fire needs fuel.
Dr. Breakthrough, you got anything to tag onto that?
Hey, she did it short, sweet, and to the point. Leslie said the greatest speakers are those who make the fewest words go the farthest. She just hit a home run with that one.
That she did. And that's why I feel so bad that her husband, Christopher, has to follow her. You know, thank God it's not me. Christopher, again, for the last couple of weeks, I failed, and please, I'm asking for forgiveness to acknowledge you for your service of serving this country. You know, most of us will look at the world we live in and see that we are standing in fire. But when you look at the opportunities that we have, there are plenty of gifts living in this country. In order for us to have this platform, to be able to speak openly and freely the way that we do, to have our opinions and have people listen and respect you and not have to defend or justify a position, you know, this is a wonderful place to be. And maybe one day we will wake up and we will have leaders that will think a lot like us and see the benefit and the value of bringing us all together. So, Christopher, how does this quote land on you? Life is like standing in fire, wishing it would rain.
Well, first off, Grand Rising, and again, thank you, Kevin. I I cherish this group. I absolutely love this group. This is my happy place. Um, and as far as following Gilda, hey, 51 years, that's the one thing I've got right. I follow Gilda. The actual quote, first off, Kevin, I absolutely loved it in your song. I mean, like that. First off, your song is so lyrical. The lyrics are so strong, so powerful. Um, I could envision every single passage, and that particular passage, particularly standing in the field, wishing for rain. I visually saw that. Now, in when taking that to life, I can there are a number of different situations where I found myself in a uncomfortable position, knowing that at the end of it, through whatever work was required, or oftentimes simply faith, that it would end and that rain would come. And I like what Dr. Breakthrough said. It's not so much wishing for rain, it's knowing that the rain is coming, knowing that whatever situation you're in right now is only temporary. And all you need to do is apply knowledge, faith, and whatever internal strength you have to get you through that. And life is roses again. But it's that particular line is so lyrical, so visual for me. I, have a hard time assigning those feelings to anything else. It's just that I see that feel of fire and the knowledge that rain will come. Rain, excuse me, rain is just as inevitable as that fire. So through your faith, through your strength, through whatever placed you in that position, follow through, keep working, keep pressing, and you'll come out the other end of that, or in this case, the rain will fall. And the other sort of twist to that, the thing that kind of lingers in the back of my mind, is there are people who actually fear the rain. I was in Boston years ago, and I was at a corner downtown, crossing the street, and just before the actual curb, there was about maybe a 4-foot puddle of water, and people were stopping and afraid to, I guess, get their shoes wet. And sarcasm with me is like a second language. It flows, but before I even know it's coming out. So it's raining, and there's a puddle there, and maybe 3 or 4 folks actually stop and are afraid now of that puddle. And I can't recall the exact sarcastic thing that I said was, but it sort of came out to, isn't it amazing how people that are made up of over 75% water in the middle of the rain are afraid to step in it? And I just splashed through it and kept on going. But the whole idea of standing in the fire, wishing for rain, I see that visually. And a lot of what was said today, basically having ourselves placed in situations where we know we're either in trouble or we're in desperate need of something or another, knowing that relief is coming, call it faith, is what propels us, what keeps us going. So there's my take on it. And again, Kevin, keep writing. Those are beautiful lyrics.
Thank you. I mean, if a black man can blush, my cheeks are fire engine red today. So, it's funny. Uh, Last week when Naheem was so excited about using this quote, never in my wildest dreams did I think, one, I would put words on a page and have it be a song. Never in my wildest dreams did I think something I've written in a song would translate emotionally to more than just me kind of dumping. So when I was writing the song and um, I wrote the lyrics, "Life is like standing in a fire, wish it would rain." Um, I was always, wondering, going through life, you know, of knowing that a storm will come. And as a child, like you said earlier, as a child, you ever remember children walking around and the parents try to get them to walk around the puddle and the child just jumps in? And I remember what it was like to be a kid dancing in the rain. The key factors in the song and in this quote that's now a lyric is about resilience and adaptability. When I look at where I'm at today, I understand with my mother on her final days of her life. I'm in Dayton, Ohio with my mom. I remember life is a privilege that's granted to only a few. Uh, some of our lives end before they begin, and some of our lives never end because they never begin. We try to avoid difficult times, and sometimes we wish sometimes that someone would come and fix it for us, or wait to see if it will just go away. We all know what it's like at some point to go to bed and pull the covers over our head and thinking that, you know, once the sun comes up, our problems are gone. And sometimes we can't be moved on. I believe and would encourage everyone that's listening to this podcast to step into the fire, to challenge whatever problem um, is with you, to face it head on, to find meaning, even though times are tough in the situation. Don't ask yourself the question, why? But ask yourself the question, why not? This quote is a mindset waiting to be played out, a mindset waiting to fix itself, a mindset waiting to find a way to cope and thrive despite the problem. We're all in a position one day to stand in the fire, wishing it would rain. And believe it or not, every single time I'm in the company of you guys, I am comfortable because I love dancing in the ring. So this is how the quote landed on me. I don't have an acronym for it, but I'm surrounded by people that are a lot more intelligent, a lot more beautiful, a lot more grateful. And I'm blessed to be surrounded by each of you. So, although I'm standing in life's fire today, um, I am wishing for it to rain, but this is the way life is. And I thank you guys for all here to shelter me, to comfort me. And for those that are listening, we are here for you. So this is how this quote landed on me. It's the lyrics, it's a verse in a song, "Standing in Fire, Wishing It Would Rain." And I hope this Sunday that you take time just to be grateful for what life is. Just be grateful and be blessed. Um, Faith that has not been tested can't be trusted. So allow faith's door to be open. Trust it. All right. So we meet every Sunday at 9 a.m. I failed to do this at the top of the show. Each of us, one of us brings out a quote, and based on our perspectives and interpretation, we have these conversations. All right. If you'd like to be a guest on this show, bring something positive, look into the description. The link is there. You're more than welcome. All right. And that's Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I thank each and every last one of you. If you like, go to RMK Productions and Network on our YouTube page. You can follow, make comments, do whatever you want to do. Just stay positive. And my heart's a little heavy today, so I don't have that zing that I normally have. But I will say something that has always held true to me. My grandfather had always said, when you get to a place in life that you can help someone else out, it is your duty to do so. He said, reach one, teach one. And with that said, we do what?
Fade to black.
We fade to black. Thank you, Doc, for helping me out.
But don't
Deep,
forget to
deep,
come back.